Hi, Pekchits here, and in today's video we'll review the American Yoh series heavy tanks. We will analyze all of the important information and statistics regarding those vehicles, and explain how to play them. So, let's get started! Undeniably, the gun is the most controversial element of those tanks. It shouldn't be much of a surprise that we can choose either 3 or 2 shell autoloader gun for each vehicle. When it comes to choosing one, I truly recommend the 120mm one. And although it has less DPM, it is far more deadly and simply easier to use. What's also worth mentioning is that the 3 shotgun is simply a worse variant of T57 or AMX-50B1, so that's another reason why you should avoid it. What makes the Yoh series tanks so deadly is the fact that they can output tremendous amounts of damage in an incredibly short amount of time. It is obviously compensated by a very long reload, which makes our tank defenseless and inactive for a long time. When it comes to the other aspects of the guns, they are very decent as for new tanks. What's surprising is that they are decently accurate and their not bad depression allows for flexible playstyle. Armor on the whole Yoh series is fairly similar. Starting from the hull, it is not well armored part, which means we will be penetrated there regularly and sometimes even on an upper plate. On the other hand, our turret armor is not half bad. However, getting penetrated there is not impossible. Because of how angled our armor is there, we will often get bounces from the shells that should easily penetrate our turret. As an extra, I will say that we have weak spots in form of commander hatches. My tip is to raise turret to hide those weak spots from enemy fire. Mobility on those tanks is definitely not the best, but also not the worst. We shouldn't have much of a problems with getting to the positions, however we won't be there first. Also, we need to get used to slow hull traverse speed, to not to get circled by other enemy tanks. M5 and M-VI-Yoh are the first tanks in a game to receive the new mechanic, which allows tanks to go back even with one track destroyed. This new function seemed really controversial at the beginning, however, from my personal experience, I didn't find it especially useful. My opinion may seem unordinary, but I personally feel that new American heavy tanks are one of the easiest to play, and game style itself isn't very complicated. In short, we need to master peekaboo tactic to use these tanks effectively. And to that we can add some basic autoloader tanks knowledge, like not to stay in front of our enemies for too long and to always have a solid cover nearby. What's also worth mentioning is that support of our teammates can be crucial for our survival, because of our 20-second long reload. We should especially keep that in mind while flanking. Yoh series tanks are in a sense comparable to the shotgun, very effective and deadly on short distance, and that's how you should play them. These tanks can do well on first and second front line. Well-armored turret allows us for exciting gameplay on hilly terrain, but the build-up area should not cause much of an issue for us, if not the opposite. With incredibly short clip-out time, we are the deepest fear of our enemies. What's often mentioned about these tanks is that because of very long reload, they are just boring to play. That is very subjective case, but nonetheless, reload is really long. But in my opinion, it shouldn't impact much on tank's opinion. So, those are the new American heavy tanks. I hope this guide could deliver some basic information about these tanks and how to play them. You can also freely share your views on those tanks in comments down below. That's all from me. Thanks for watching and bye!